All right, everybody. For those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Go Time. Now, before we get going, I'm going to ask you guys if you cannot send me any text messages while I'm up here, because you know what? When you're moving around, you and the whole hosting thing, and you're moving around, all of a sudden, you get this big wall of text in front of you. It can really throw you off, right? I'm also going to ask if you can stay off the stage. This way, nobody really blocks this big display behind me, and it gives me a little bit of room to move around and do the whole hosting thing, right? Now, also, you may notice at the top of your menu wheel, in the lower left there, you've got a microphone icon that kind of looks like this right here. And if that is clear, that means that we can hear everything that's happening in your environment, right? We've gone ahead and turned that to red, which means that you're muted. So if somebody comes into your space and says, hey, are you still on that thing? We're not going to hear that, right? Or maybe you got a barking dog in the background or something like that, and you're going to find that, you're not going to become known or face social ruin as the avatar that suddenly started barking during its go time, right? So, so don't worry about that. This means, don't worry about those background noises. But just because you're muted doesn't mean you can't express yourself. You're going to notice there's a pink cheek smiley face in your menu wheel. And when you click on it, your emoji panel is going to open up in the air in front of you, right? And it's going to give you a wide variety of options with which to express yourself. Like these guys are expressing what they think is sadness. I'll tell you what that means to us in a second. Ooh, a thumbs down, really? Oh, that's terrible. Okay, well, suit yourself. You don't have to say if you don't like. But let's say I share something really deep, powerful, and meaningful. You feel it building up inside you, right? And you can just let it out, just let it flow. Maybe I got some backup dancers backstage, right? And then we break into It's Go Time, the musical, and you're all very impressed. You can throw up the applause I live for like that, and I can take a moment to drink it all in because it feels good. All right, maybe, right? I ask you guys a yes or no question. You say yes by smiling like that. Or you can frown and say no like that. These guys that were frowning before, they were saying no, and I bet you they didn't even know it. All right. Now, you also, if, maybe I say something funny, you want to show me you're laughing, you can do this silly face emoji to show me you're laughing like that. And then there's this thing. This is by far the most distracting of all the emojis. It's true. We're going to use this not to raise your hand and ask questions. We will be taking questions and comments at the end. But if you do something like this, it's to let me know that there's a problem. All right. So maybe, for example, I move my hands around like this an awful lot, and you're like, whoa, it looks like that guy's saying something, and you're not hearing anything. You pop your hand up like that. Now, if I see only one like this guy here, I'm probably just going to keep on going. Sometimes people will do that to be distracting. But if I see 5 of them go up at one time, I know there's a problem that I need to address, and I will do my best to handle that immediately. All right. You also find that there's an X in the middle of that emoji panel. That'll close the panel. But it's a good idea to keep it open during events like this because, one, it tells me how I'm doing, gives me some good feedback, right? But more importantly, it lets the people around you know what you're experiencing. So if the person next to you goes like this, that means they find something funny, right? And you may not agree. You might be like, that's not funny at all. I don't know what that guy's talking about. I'm going to go stand over here. And you can do that because this is VR. You can't really stand over here, though, because it's on the stage. And as you know, we have a pact. We have an agreement. You're not going to do that thing. All right, cool. All right, awesome. Now, what is Go Time? Go Time is an event for Oculus Go users. So if you're on a device, feel free to hang out. You may pick up some information that helps our growing Go community in Altspace because there's new Go users arriving in Altspace each and every day. All right. But if you are on a Go in Altspace, you may have noticed that there are some challenges you face as a Go user. Lots of little things that can come up. And speaking of challenges, I've been in bed for about the past going on 2 years now due to a medical condition. It's gotten a lot better. But when I first got my Go, I couldn't wait for this thing to arrive because it kind of represents mobility for me, right? And when it arrived, I'd been reading about Altspace for a while, and I came into Altspace for the very first time, and I stepped out of the load screen, and the very first thing I did in Altspace was I looked up at the sky, right? And the sky looked a lot like what I remember the sky looking like, not like in here today with the wood beams, there were stars and clouds and all that kind of stuff. And, it looked real to me, and I was grateful for this. I was so grateful that I started volunteering for Altspace right away, right? I started moderating events and stuff like that, and I found that my battery wouldn't last long enough to get me through an entire event. Right. And so I didn't like this. So I started asking questions like, how can I improve the performance of my device? And the answers to those questions eventually led to this event that you're here at today. What happened was, I started asking all these things, and I heard some stuff when I was asking these questions. Like I heard, for example, that on an Oculus Go, I wouldn't be able to work this laser pointer. And you know what? That turned out to not be true. Back then, they used to say it would get stuck to your hand, right? And it turned out, I discovered that if you hold the laser pointer down at your side like this, you can detach from it, right? Just like that. And I found out I could actually do it, right? I was also told that these slides back here, right? I was told that I wouldn't be able to work these slides on Oculus Go, and that turned out to not be true. And I was told that despite having a background presenting material like this, that my device wasn't reliable enough to host events. You know what? I've hosted over 300 events in Altspace, right? And more than half of them were done on an Oculus Go. I like to think successfully. I hope people have enjoyed it. And you can too, right? And it's not, it is true that there are some performance issues, maybe, that you'll encounter while on a Go, but most of these problems can be solved. And the ones that you can't solve can at least be managed. All right, and we're going to show you how to do that before you even leave here today. Because listen, there's two routes you can take. You can work with what you have. So before you even leave here today, you're going to pick up some tips and stuff that's going to vastly improve your experience. There's also, you can upgrade your experience to exceed the limitations of your device. And I say it like that because, listen, those of you who have been here before, you may have noticed that, I can't stand this term. You'll see all over the Discord, people say limitations of the device. They'll say weaker device, right? And if you're on a Go, it can be frustrating to hear stuff like this. But you have to remember there's another term that gets thrown around Altspace an awful lot, and that's community. All right, there's a lot of rich and diverse communities in Altspace, and you, the individual, make up that community, not what kind of headset you're wearing. So if you happen to hear some of these kind of terms, it's important to remember that you are not your headset any more than you are your house or your car or stuff like that. All right, so keep that in mind if you encounter that. All right, also, let's see. Let's start with the device you already have on your head. Now, you may not realize this, but your headset loses power even when it's not in use, right? So if you put your headset down on a table at night and it's got 100% battery charge, by morning, it's going to have about, much less, charge because it's checking for updates to the apps. It's checking for updates to the firmware. Maybe your headset has a whole secret life you don't know anything about, right? And that can be devastating when you find out something like that, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to find out that, it's going to, sometimes have less of a charge. So your first responsibility is to make sure that your headset is charged up before you come in. All right, because if you come into Altspace with, say, a 20% charge, you're going to find that your screen flickers and it doesn't perform as well. All right, so if maybe you're outside in the real world and you go to the website altvr.com and you see what's going on tonight and you see there's an event called Go Time going on, right? And you're like, oh wow, I've heard great things about the host. I've heard he's got this hair, he's got this shirt that you're starting to see everywhere, right? You want to go to that. So what you want to do is you want to plug your device in about an hour before the event begins, right? And this will make sure that that you're topped off there. You have 100% battery charge, right? And now when you put the headset on, you got to make this a habit. Every single time you put your headset on, you're going to notice in the top center button, that power button that you press to turn it on, the very first thing you should do when you get the Oculus home screen is what are you doing here? It's lazy. Yeah, I mean, you live it up to your name there, but that's not cool. All right, well, if you go ahead and do that. All right, so if you press and hold that power button, right, what'll happen is if you hold that for about 4 seconds, after about 4 seconds, about three buttons will appear in the air right in front of you. That middle button is a restart button. And if you press that button, it's going to clear out all the temporary files in your headset, right? And this will make sure that it's going to be performing the best it can because you got 100% charge. You've cleared out all those temporary files. I like to think of as clearing your mind out before you come in, right? And then you start up the app and you step into that load screen. And when you come out of the load screen, you may have noticed what an important role body language plays in Altspace, right? Like if you're at an event like this and a moderator comes up to you sleazy and starts shaking their head like this and say, stop doing that with their hands and punch people in the face. But I don't have to say a word. I just got to walk up to you and go like this, right? And if I do that, that means don't do that thing. I don't have to say a word, right? Or maybe somebody makes it up on the stage and I go like this. I'm going like this to wave you off the stage, right? That means get off my stage, right? But occasionally on a Go, you're going to notice that your real world hand might be right here, but your avatar's hand might be way up here. And when that happens, and you have that, that difference there, what you can do is, what's going on here, bad boy? Okay. All right. You guys are not enjoying the material today? Let me show quick show emojis. You want to open this up for questions and answers? Or answers and questions, or questions and answers? Show me some smiley faces if you'd rather drop the slides and just do question and answers. All right. So you want to drop the slides? Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, we can do that. All right. So I'm going to open up questions to, you're going to see a raise hand button appear on your lower right. All right. Now what you're going to do here is, let's see, just press that raise hand button. And you'll get on my list, and I'll be able to take your questions from here on out if you guys are not enjoying the material. That's totally cool. What's going on, Chris? You're on the air. What's up, Chris?
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine. What's up? Yes, I can hear you. What's up?
I was going to touch on the battery life for the Go for Go users.
Yes.
What you could do is you could basically go to Amazon and get one of the portable chargers, the portable USB charger, and you could attach it. Oh, okay. Well,
yes.
I'll let you cover that part. But yeah, there's a lot of things you could do with the Go. Facebook is stating that they're going to end support for it, but there's numerous things you could do for it. Like, for example, I use my Go. They say you can't play many games, but I have 100 Xbox One games on my
Yes.
headset without an Xbox console. So there's numerous things that you could do with the Go, but lots of people say it's not worth the funds. But I've put a lot of things on here that
I
a lot of
disagree. You
people
know what?
don't know you
Listen,
could do.
I cover like the order got a little messed up here today. We do cover a lot of ways to make the device perform a lot better, right? And
Mm-hmm.
one of those things is the external battery pack, like you mentioned. There's another tip that you can do. You're going to notice with brightness, for example, when I first came in, I've kind of lost my place here because we jumped around. One of the first tips I received, actually, that was one of the most useful, is somebody told me to turn my brightness down. And I didn't want to do it. I wanted to have the best graphic experience I could possibly have in Altspace. And to me, that meant having my brightness turned way up to retina burning levels. I mean, it was painful, right? And but I kept running out of battery life, so I tried it. So I'd go to the Oculus home screen, I'd go over to right where it says settings, and I'd see the brightness in the middle there, and I turn the auto brightness off so I could set it manually, and there'd be this big blue bar there. Every time I came into Altspace, I'd turn the brightness down a little bit more and a little bit more until eventually it was completely off. And I came into Altspace and I couldn't believe what I saw. Now back then we were hosting an event, and all the moderators would gather off to the side. There was this tree there, and I'd go up to that tree, and I couldn't. I just stopped and I looked up. It looked more real than any time I'd ever seen that tree before. And all so the graphics got better. So if you turn the brightness all the way off, what's going to happen is you're going to experience better graphics, better performance, but most importantly, your battery life is going to last a lot longer. So that's another thing you can do. Right? We are going to be covering some more of those enhancements like you were talking about. We can try to do that. We can go in the order. So, all right. Another thing, you're going to notice that Oculus Go users get kind of a bad reputation in Altspace. Right. And the reason for this is because our microphones are extremely sensitive. So the sounds will come up out of your ear straps. It'll get picked up by the microphone and it'll get projected out into Altspace. Right. And the thing is, we don't know what we sound like when we're in here. Right. There's no way to get like a sound mirror or get some idea of what we sound like. Right. As a matter of fact, I was hosting events for about a year in Altspace before I finally heard what I sounded like. You'll notice that we've got Raven Eye floating in the air up there. That's our YouTube camera. All right. So if you want to feel Altspace famous, turn around and just wave and, wave at Raven Eye up there and be like, hey, YouTube, how's it going? We got a bad boy here. We got Sleazy. We've got Blake 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got I don't even know how to say that. Hawaii Larry. Okay, cool. We got a lot of people in here. So go on in Altspace. I think you'll enjoy it. All right. So so we have that. And but till then, I didn't know what I sounded like in here. Right. So what you can do is let's see. To help this experience, because what will happen is, like, say you're in a campfire and you're hanging out, right? And I go up to Simon, I'm like, hey, Simon, did you hear about that thing? And all of a sudden I hear a voice. It sounds incredibly dynamic. And I turn around and I realize, wow, it's me. It's coming, my voice is actually coming out of your avatar, right? And there's a sound delay. So it's as it was in the past. So if you have this, when somebody tries to talk to you, there'll be like, little kind of a reverb going on, and it has the effect of trying to, like, you're talking to yourself as you were in the past. And that can be kind of confusing. Fortunately, it's easy to manage this. You're going to notice on top of your headset, on the left-hand side, you've got these two buttons. The leftmost button is the power down button, and next to that's the power up button, right? Volume up. And when you press either of these, you're going to see these vertical bars appear in the air. Some will be solid, and some will be clear. Now, what you're going for is 4 clear bars on the right-hand side. And this will set the volume at such a level that the microphone is not going to pick up the sound as easily, right? And it's going to be a lot easier to manage this. And now, the only sound coming out of your avatar will be your own. But the problem is, this comes like at a price. You're going to strain to hear people every now and then. You're going to be like, what? What'd you say, Simon? I didn't quite catch that. Say that again. Wait, Simon, what? All right. But it turns out you still have one good hand in the real world. And what you can do is you can take that hand, hold it up to your ear. Try this now. Hold your left hand up to your ear, right, and kind of cup your hand there. You're going to find that the sound of my voice goes up when you do that, right? So this is a way to temporarily raise the volume, all right, where you can hear a little bit better, right? Another thing you can do is get a pair of headphones to attach it to them, or maybe a pair of inexpensive earbuds. And this will make sure the only sound coming out of your avatar is your own. All right. And once I did that, I got a pair of inexpensive earbuds. I tried doing that. And what happened was, I thought, this is great. It's really changing the experience for me. And I thought, what else can I add to this device that's going to improve my experience? And it turns out, right, that there's a variety of, listen, before I discuss this, in order to tell you how I did this, I came up with what I call a Go Plus experience, right? And as I, came up with this, I found I was able to go into performance-heavy areas, right, where I'd notice other Go users crashing. They'd overheat, they'd disappear as they crashed, and that wasn't happening to me. My device became super reliable after I did the stuff I'm about to talk about, and this is a really great way you can, improve your experience in here. But to do it, I have to discuss these products. And to discuss these products, it's important that I tell you that these products are not the only products that work. It's the ideas behind these products that matter the most. And so if you want to try something that's a different price or a different brand, please feel free to do so. If you want to try any of these, the temptation is going to be to write these things down. It's difficult to write stuff down in VR. You don't have to do that. You could find these products very easily by going to altvr.com, right, and going to see where it says channels. And where it says channels, you're going to see it says Ravenhall Events, like it says up on the sound booth there. Now, if you press on that, you're going to see all, you'll get taken to our event page, and you're going to see all these products on the left-hand side. So that's a good way to find it. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll find links to all these products in the description below. Also, you see a join Discord button there. If you want to, say hello, ask us questions, maybe help us put on events like this. And also, you'll see the most important button on the internet, the subscribe button. We don't get paid to do this, but every time you guys press that subscribe button, we feel good every time that number goes up. So it's a great way to say thank you if you enjoy today. And it's, it makes us feel even better when you subscribe to our YouTube, to be honest. All right, let's talk about what we got here. We've got the Anker Power Core battery pack. And this is going to extend your battery life by a lot. This thing lasts about 16 hours. And Oculus says we shouldn't use the devices while they're plugged in, but we can use external battery packs. And I figured this would solve my power problem. And around the time I was ordering it, I'd heard a lot of users were starting to have problems charging their headset. Back then, the Go was relatively new. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the wire that when you attach it to it, it is kind of tight. It's a tight fit. And over time, all that wear and tear, it's not going to make good contact, and it's going to start to lose its ability to charge. It won't charge as effectively. All right. But this middle product here is a MagSafe cable, and one tip plugs into your headset, and it's kind of tight and kind of snug, but once you plug it in, you can leave it there. Now, the other end of the wire, it's going to plug it in that battery, and it's going to be held in place by a magnetic connector. All right, I see bad boys having a bad time. All right, let's hang on one second. We're almost there. It's held in place by a magnetic connector, right? Now, this is a great safety feature because if you turn your head, the wire will pop off, and once the wire pops off, you can get it in place back by easily just grabbing down. You don't even got to come out of VR to fix this. Just pick up the wire, hold it beside your headset, and it'll kind of thunk into place, right? And your friends will hear that if your microphone's up, and they'll be like, "You'll hear it thunk," and they'll be like, "What was that?" And you'll be like, "That's power. That's what that was." Now you don't have to say it's not going to make it work any differently, but feel free to do that. All right, you're also going to notice there's this. Now listen, how many of you guys overheat on the Oculus Go? Because wanted to solve my power problem, right? But then I started to overheat all the time. I see a few of you, right? This is a very common issue. What you can do, now I hear a lot of people back then, I don't know, I've heard it around, people still saying this. Some people used ice packs and like frozen peas to bring the heat down. This is a bad idea, right? I think anyway, because when you do that, you're going to have condensation forming inside your headset. Now, I don't know about you guys, but water, electricity on your face is probably not the best idea. And the people I know that tried this actually went through more than one device, right? So what I'd recommend doing is what we found here is an AC Infinity mini fan, right? And this is a really small, it fits in the palm of your hand, right? And you got to make sure that the silver part is facing the faceplate. And you got to figure out a way to hold it in place. Some people use strings. Some people, like in my case, I use like oversized hair bands. You put those on your ear straps. You put it over the front. You make kind of an X, and it wraps around those round rubber feet there, right? And the first time I tried this, I was going, and you guys ever been to that meditation event in Altspace, right? It's in this really great area. It's on top of a mountain. There's sunlight coming down through the fog. There's like bowls with like smoke coming out. It's a really great space. But for some reason, every time I went there, I would overheat exactly 20 minutes in the experience, like every time. Right. So what I did was, I came in with all this on, and if you've ever seen Star Trek, like the Borg, that's what I felt like. I had all these wires hanging down, right? And I come in here, and I'm like, all right, and I walked right up to the host. His name was Jeremy. He's a really nice guy. And I said, "Can you hear my fan?" And he said, "No, not at all. It sounds great. You can't hear a thing." I said, "Great." So I turned it up to medium to see how that would do. And he said, "I can hear that a little bit, but it's not too bad." And then I turned it up to full blast. And before I could even ask the question, he's like, "Listen, you sound like we were in a wind tunnel. You're going to need to turn that down." And I'm like, okay. So I turned it all the way down. And spoiler alert, I never had to turn it up again. Here's what happened, right? I made it through the event 20 minutes, and I didn't overheat at all. I finished the event, didn't overheat, and I wanted to find out how far can I go? What's the limit here, right? So I went to another event, didn't overheat at all. Then I went to another event, 3 events in a row, didn't overheat once. Go back to my home space, right? Hung out with my friends for like a long time, and I had no overheating issues at all, right? So I'm real happy with the results. And then it happened. I left Altspace for the very first time by choice. I didn't leave because I overheated. I didn't leave because my battery ran out. I left because I actually wanted to, and you can do. None of this is very difficult or expensive to do. This bottom product here, the minifan, this is about $10 or $11 US. The MagSafe cable in the middle is about $7 US. The most expensive thing up there is the battery pack. That's about $30 US. And honestly, you can get different sizes or capacities. Maybe you don't need 16 hours. Maybe you're only in VR for a couple hours a night. And you can get away with like a smaller size and save a little bit of money, right? But once I did this, right, my device became super reliable. I started hosting events. I started moderating events. I was all over the place, right? And you can be too. It's not very expensive, and all you do is make these small changes. All right, let's see. Hey, Sleazy, you have a question? I see that hand popping up like crazy. What's going on, Sleazy? Let's take care of that. What's going on? You're on the air, Sleazy. Go ahead. What's going on? No? All right. Not going to take it? All right, cool. That's cool. All right. No worries.
Oh, wait, can you hear me?
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's up?
Oh, all right. I don't really understand how most of this works. So,
Okay.
like, I'm
Well, I
new
got
to the
that impression when
VR.
you were
So,
giving me those hand gestures when I was
oh no,
on stage.
I'm new
That
to the
wasn't very
VR. I'm
threatening.
just like I'm playing with the
Yeah.
controls
Okay.
right now. Like,
Okay. No
yeah.
problem. What's up?
But I heard from
Yeah.
someone that you can't get viruses if like I don't know how you get here, but like you can't get viruses from watching porn. Is that true?
Okay. That's an interesting insight. Don't really have the ability to comment that, considering we are airing this on YouTube. So
I
I'm
don't
not
mean to sound like
going to touch it.
inappropriate or anything. I just like wanted to know.
Well, right now we're covering the
But
Oculus
I
Go.
can't hear you.
Right. As for a wider issue, we you can try maybe another event, maybe an Altspace VR 101 will teach you about Altspace. Kind of look at the subject of the event to get an idea of what it's about. But I can't comment on
Excuse
that at
me?
this time. I cannot comment on that at this time. That's cool. All right, cool. All right. Let's see. Who else do we have here? All right. So if you are, let's see. Now, this solved a lot of problems for me, but there was still some lingering issues being on the go in Altspace. All right. So you got your hand up there. How do I do this? You want to press the, oh, I see you are on the list. Okay. What's up? How do you do this? What's up? What's going on?
Okay.
You're on the air.
All right. I'm unmuted. So about like the overheating problem, and I still know this has nothing to do with it. Anyways, so is there a way to connect a second Oculus Go controller to your
Yeah,
Oculus Go?
I get that question a lot, and it's technically possible, right? What you can do, and again, it's not a good idea to do this. They don't recommend it. It will void your warranty. But there are several videos on YouTube showing how people did this. The problem is if there's a firmware update, what's going to happen is it's going to probably screw up all the changes you made. It's not like exactly within the warranty to do it. But there are people that have pulled it off, but it's outside the manufacturer's recommendations. So I can't recommend trying that. But if you search YouTube for second Oculus controller, you may figure out how some people did it. You may want to try it yourself. It's up to you. I mean, you own the device, right? So, that's right. All right, let's see. We also have Chris. We have Chris. You're on the air. What's up, Chris? Where are you?
All right. I just have a quick question.
Yeah, what's up, Chris?
Can you hear me? Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're fine.
Could you give me the name of the battery pack and the name again
Sure.
for the fan that you recommended?
Sure. You have. Let's see. Let's go back to this. Again, these links can be found at altvr.com. Go to channels, and there you'll see Ravenholm events. If you click on that, you'll be taken to our event page, and on the left-hand side, you'll see links to all of these products there. But the names are, let's see here. I kind of lost up the order there. You have at the top, you have the Anker Power Core battery pack. All right. And the bottom product is the AC Infinity USB mini fan. All right. It comes in 18 millimeters, and I think also there's a 20 or 20 something millimeter one. Both will work.
Okay, thank you.
You just want to make sure you have it high up away from your microphone. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Who else do we have here? We have Rats for Life. Rats for Life, you're on the air. What's going on? Rats for Life, where are you? Don't see you. Where'd you go, Rats? Don't see you. Where'd you go? You're on the air. Going once? No? Okay, cool. I did try. All right, let's see. So now that being said, once I did this, it really made the performance very reliable on the go, but there were still some problems. You guys may have noticed when you're moving around in Altspace, you're going to have, sometimes you can occasionally have a movement issue. Like if you move to the left, right, sometimes you'll end up going straight. And you're like, oh, that was weird. How'd that happen? Then you go to turn to the right. Instead of turning right, you go straight again. You're like, oh, no, I've gone straight again. And then if you maybe press down, the controller to move backwards to back up, you'll end up moving straight again. And you're like, well, that's really strange. How'd that happen? Right. And then, you start bashing on a button, you start panicking. No matter what you do, you keep moving straight. And the next thing you know, you're standing inside of an admin. There is nothing more frightening than standing inside of an admin. When I was in there, man, I saw things. I saw things that keep me up at night. I saw things about user accounting, right? I saw things that was getting, kind of going all over the place. It was just very terrifying. I saw things I couldn't talk about. What I can talk about is how to fix this. What I found is if you want to reset the touch controller, right? And the way that you do this is you take your thumb and you swipe it from right to left or left to right. That doesn't really matter. Don't push down. Just very gently swipe your thumb across the trackpad. Then lift up, come up to the overside, and swipe across again. So if you find yourself moving in ways that you want to in Altspace, all you have to do is go swipe, 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 and then press down and move in the direction that you want to go, and you'll find that you'll be moving in the ways you want to. All right, so that'll take care of that. Now, another problem that you can have is, let's take another question coming in here, is we got Rats for Life trying again. Rats for Life, what's going on? You're on the air. Rats, are you out there? Where are you, man? Okay, where are you? I don't see you. Go once. You out there? Okay, cool. I did try it. Try it twice. Wait, are you out there? Rats, speak to me. No? Okay. I see you there. I'm not hearing you.
You
Okay, I
can't?
can hear you. What's up? I can hear you now. What's going on? What's the question?
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color. Take a guess. Just guess.
Green?
What could it be? Very good. Excellent. Well done.
Yay.
That's excellent.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You see
That was
the
pretty
shirt?
much my only.
That would be it.
That was my only question.
How about you? No, I got a question for you. What's your favorite color? Okay, you're off the air again. I gotta know. What is it? We all want to know. YouTube wants to know. What's your favorite color?
Gray.
Gray. Oh, and your shirt is gray. That makes sense. I
Yeah.
wonder if everybody picks their colors based on what their favorite color is. You know, that's an interesting point. I wonder. You know, that's asking people that question now. All right, cool. All right, so let's see what else. We have another tip. Oh, you may notice occasionally when you put on your headset, right? Actually, wait, we're getting another question in here. How do I do this? All right, let's see. How do I do this? I'm not actually asking how to do this. That's actually a name. How do I do this? Is you're on the air. Wow, that just kind of rolls off the tongue. Is that a family name? What's that? Where are you?
I'm stuck back here.
You're stuck back here. I'm not quite sure where back here is, as I can't see it. All right. You might want to try re-entering the space by going to your main menu. By the kitchen. Okay. Well, either way, this remains true. If you open your main menu and you go to settings, once you go to settings, you're going to notice. Once you go to settings, you're going to notice there you have up the general tab at the very top. You'll see an option to re-enter the space. If you press that, it'll take you out of there. So if you're stuck, you can just re-enter the space, and that'll take care of that. You know. And again, you might want to check out an AltspaceVR 101. The handle answers to common questions like that. Give that a try. All right. Now, you're going to notice from time to time that you're going to lose your controller when you put your headset on. You're going to notice that, like, you put your headset on, and you're going to notice that your headset can't find the controller, and maybe your headset found, controller found about your headset secret life and wasn't happy about it, and they're no longer speaking. Well, you know what you can do is you can take that. You can look. I mean, listen. If you put a fresh battery in it last night, you know it's not you, right? You know you got a fresh battery in there, but for one reason or another, your headset's lost contact with the controller. Right? If this happens, you don't even have to take your headset off to fix it, right? You just have to remember 2 words: double down, right? Now, when you press, you'll notice the 2 buttons just below the trackpad. If you press and hold these down at the same time, you're going to see what happens is the little white light will appear on the trackpad, right? Now, you're not going to see that white light if you're wearing your headset, but what you will see is after about 4 seconds after you lift that thumb up, right, you're going to have your hand back, right? And all you got to do is remember to hold those 2 buttons down for about 4 seconds. You'll get your hand back just like that. And then you come back in Altspace, you'll be on time for your event. And you'll be like, man, I sure am glad I went to go time. And Michael Forrest, he knew what he was talking about. He really did. He told me to double down, and I got to be on time for my event, and it worked out. So very cool for that. So if that happens to you, give that a try. Now, you are going to notice every now and then in Altspace, your screen goes dark. And this isn't just true of the Go. Every mobile device experiences this. And this happens because everything you see in here, this stage, this big red button that we have for the end of our shows, which we're about to press, when all this stuff stays in your headset. And what can happen is eventually when your headset runs out of memory, your screen is going to go dark, right? And when that happens, your microphone will still be open, so your friends will still be able to hear you. And the way to get ahead of this is, remember that bottom button on your controller is like an eject button. It's going to take you out to the main Oculus screen, and there you can press exit, and it'll close the app, and then you can just restart the app. And the best way to deal with this is to get ahead of it before it happens. So if you've been to like 3 different worlds and somebody says, hey, let's go to the campfire, it'd probably be a good idea to restart the app. This way it'll clear out the memory, and this way when you're in the campfire, in the middle of the conversation, your screen's not going to go dark. All right, so it's a good way to clear the memory out manually. All right, and just get in the habit of doing that. That'll help that. All right, everybody, if there's no more questions, we are going to be, all right, we've got one, we've got time for it. We've got, I'm not sure how to say this, it's LGDY745, but, whatever it is, you're on the air. What's going on? Go once, anybody? You're out there? Can't see where you are or how to say that name. Okay, well, we tried. Let's see, we have Rats for Life again. Rats for Life, you are on the air. What's going on, Rats?
Do you have a favorite food?
Do I have a favorite food? I don't actually, but it would probably be something resembling pizza. I grew up in Brooklyn, and I have an extreme fondness for pizza. How about you guys? Anybody else here like pizza? That's some good stuff, right? All right, listen, we're going to be heading out. We're out of time, but if you want to join us, we teach everybody how to fly if you haven't learned how to fly in Altspace yet. And the way we do this is really cool. All right, you see this big red button here? It says Talon Call on the side. This is going to call in a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft. Right now, this is kind of like an aircraft if you can fly around in. If you guys want to try flying this thing, you actually can. It's going to fly down the street here. It's going to go up over those trees, and it's going to land in that backyard area. Right now, when it does, we're going to head on out to Ravenhall Flight Academy. If you have any further questions or comments, we can take them there. So let's head on over. Direct your attention out the window, and you are going to notice a Talon hovercraft come down the street.
Ravenhall Talon aircraft en route to your position.
All right, there it goes. All right, so let's head on out back there and go join it, and let's try that. All right, so come on out this way. And listen, if you've learned anything here today, please share it with those you come in contact with. So if somebody says, my face is on fire, I'm always overheating, tell them about Go Time, tell them about that fan, tell them about our event page, right? And then, you'll feel good because you've helped somebody, and that's how we keep this thing going. All right, here it comes.
Talon aircraft is now boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Please exit the building and step into the blue light. Thank you.
All right, thanks for coming, everybody. You've been a real special audience. See you next time.